Hey, Team Culinary and Southwestern City School District, Chef here. So we're gonna do a little bit of Chef's Kitchen today. So what I'm gonna do is actually gonna prepare you a great weekend meal. So we're gonna have some fun. I went ahead and got some petite medallion potatoes. So it's a medley of potatoes. So I got some purples, reds, and I got some Yukons in there, some baby Yukons. We're gonna do some sauteed mushrooms and onions. I'm gonna make a nice truffle garlic herb mixture to actually top the steaks and the potatoes. So we're gonna cook two different types of steaks today. So we're gonna do just a beautiful ribeye. So we're also gonna do a New York strip. Now, Mrs. Chef's on the camera. If she can turn around and show you, I actually drew you guys a picture. So that's where the rib loin comes from.
Oh, wait.
So,
okay.
And that's where the top loin or strip loin comes from, okay? So first things first, what I wanna do is I want to go ahead and just chop up. I want to make my mixture right away with my truffle oil and my herb mixture. And all this is fresh thyme and fresh rosemary.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I just want to go ahead and chop these up. And for the culinary students, they should be able to tell me what kind of chop this is. Hopefully they're saying it's a cross chop right now. So, and we have a nice mixture here. I want to leave some definition to it, so we don't want to actually just, mince it down to absolutely nothing and pulverize it. I'm going to add some truffle oil to this. So the best place I have found for truffle oil, believe it or not, is, believe it or not, Walmart. So $9 for a great big bottle. So, and I want to add some garlic to this as well too. Okay.
What type of garlic do you have there?
Well, I've got a minced garlic. So, that's all it is, fresh minced garlic. So I'm going to put in, probably about a quarter clove.
If you're using whole garlic, how much would that be?
It'll be about a quarter.
A quarter? Okay.
Yeah, about a quarter. And I just want to mix it around. Okay, you get a nice blend this way. Now it'll start to separate, but what I want to do is I want to start infusing those flavors. Okay, next thing I want to do is I want to get my heat going here. So I want to get my sauteed mushrooms and onions going. I've already cut them for steaks. So I've got some red onion, I've got some baby portobellos here. A common mistake people make when they are cooking mushrooms and onions together is they put everything in at the same time. That is folly, okay? First thing you want to do is you want to cook your onions. Take your onions to, they're about translucent, almost that edge of transparent going into caramelization. Then go ahead and add your mushroom, okay?
So you're telling me I cook it wrong?
I'm not telling you that at all, honey.
Okay.
Not telling you that at all.
I stir them in together.
So while that's heating up, what I want to do is I want to trim these steaks, okay? So, Betsy the cow, okay, the guy that actually cut these, which was not me, he actually left what we call a little sand on there. So we're actually paying for some stuff we actually have to trim off. So this right here is going to be our ribeye. So it's a lip on, okay? This right here is where the belly's at. And the belly is supposed to be clean, okay, which means just straight meat. And they left a great big knuckle on this for me, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and trim this off. And the reason why I want to do this is because this actually has what's called silver skin in it, which is tendon. This is the knuckle that actually holds the rib loin to the rib. Okay? Now, I want to come over here. This is what's called the fat cap. All right? A good fat cap should be anywhere between a 1/4 inch to no thinner than 1/8 of an inch. Okay? Your tail should be 1 inch angled, 45-degree angle cut. Okay? Now, I can use this meat. I can go in here and trim some of this out. I could separate this with a fillet knife away from the actual, that silver skin and that tendon and so on. And I could actually get some halfway decent pieces of meat here for, for soups and stir fries, stuff like that. All right, now, the New York strip. Okay. So the New York strip, we're going to go ahead and trim this correctly. So same thing, 1/4 inch to 1/8 of an inch. All right, now his tail is huge. Okay, so we're going to clean that up. It should be about 1 inch. Now they have a belly as well too. And we want to make sure that belly is absolutely clean as well. All right. So I'm just coming through here and I'm just trimming all those off. Now right here, okay, this is actually the chain portion of a New York strip. There should be 1 inch to 1.5 inches of clean meat. Okay. So going from that chain right here to this fat cap. Okay. So, and that's what we have right there. About 1 inch to 1.25 inches right there. All right. So this right here is ready to rock and roll. Okay, now I'm going to save these for later because I may trim them down and do some soup. Now, seasoning I absolutely love. I love doing just a simple smokehouse maple. So I picked this up. It's a McCormick brand item. So All right, and I like to season on a plate. And the reason why is I want to maximize my seasoning. Okay, a lot of people throw out tons of seasoning. Okay, and everyone goes, "Chef, man, you are over seasoning that steak." I'm actually not. All right, because what you're seeing right now, just transferring, that's all the seasoning I shook out that didn't make the steak. Mrs. Chef is telling me it's been 5 minutes right now. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to try to capture as much of the seasoning as I can, just to maximize my seasoning. Okay, so and I want to boldly season. The reason I want to boldly season is because I'm going to cook over an open flame. I'm going to lose probably half the seasoning off that steak. So, and the seasoning just doesn't add flavor to the steak. It also offers a protective coating to the steak. It's got some salt in it. And what that salt does is when it mixes with the juices of the steak, kind of creates a shell. I'm going to go ahead and drink some pink juice.
You and your vitamin water.
All right, so I'm looking pretty good here. So I want to throw these in. Beautiful. I got a nice snap. Okay. Now, if you notice that butter's just a little dark, that's called burning. All right. I love the flavor of a good burnt butter. All right. I'm going to go ahead and put in a little bit of garlic. Same thing. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. Okay. Now I'm getting a nice snap from that, so I'm going to back that down just a hair. All right. But I want to use the flavor of that burnt butter. Okay, with these mushrooms and onions. Especially when I'm throwing in some garlic like this. Okay, now you can use granulated garlic. That's perfectly fine. If you're going to use granulated garlic, I would put it in a little bit later. What happens is people start seasoning right away and they lose a lot of the seasoning during the cooking process when they're actually sauteing up some simple mushrooms and onions. Okay? Now the butter will stain it just a hair. What you want to look for is you want to start to look for clarification in the onion. Alright, so while this is heating up, what I did was I made a compound butter. Now normally I would let this go ahead and chill. So what this is basically it's about 2 ounces of butter. So, and I went ahead and added about 1.5 ounces to 2 ounces of honey. Okay. Now this is a great way to make flavored butter. You can take this, stick this right back into your refrigerator. All right. So use a little warm water on the outside of the pot when you want to use it, and that'll break it free. But you can use this on breads. You can finish off steaks with it, so on. So you can actually make all kinds of flavored butter. And we're going to use that with our Brussels sprouts. And I want to show you these Brussels sprouts. So I went ahead and bought these Brussels sprouts. These were frozen. So just a little bit of a boil on them. All right, pull that chloroform out. I got that beautiful Kelly green color I'm looking for out of them. So, and these are actually going to be wonderful. So I'm going to charbroil these bad boys up on our grill. I got a little griddle out there, so while I'm preparing the steaks, I'm also going to go ahead and prepare the Brussels sprouts. All right. I want to go back to my onions real quick. All right, so I've got my heat balanced. Now you see where I'm starting to get a little brown on my garlic? It's exactly what I want, okay? I want that flavor. That's a nice caramelization, okay? So it gives it a nice little snap, all right? So we're going to let these go ahead and cook for a few minutes. Let's go ahead and throw some steaks on, all right? While I'm out there, ooh, I'll tell you what, we screwed up. We got to bang out the potatoes. All right, so using a potato. Now I went ahead and just kind of, I boiled these for about 5 minutes. I just wanted to soften them. I always like to use a measuring cup. I just want to give them a little smash. I'm just going to do a traditional smash. Now, it freaks people out when you hand them a purple potato. They always ask, what does it taste like? I always tell them it tastes like a Smurf or Barney the Dinosaur. They don't usually laugh at that. So, as you can see, my wife doesn't laugh at that joke either.
It tastes just like a potato.
It tastes like a potato. That's it. It's just a pop of color on the plate. That is it. Okay?
I didn't even know they had purple potatoes.
So, but you got these beautiful, vibrant colors. So, all right. All right, now, I got my I've got my oven sitting at about 425 degrees right now. So what I want to do is I want to take some of this mixture that we're going to put on our steak, okay? And I just want to kind of spoon that right across the tops of the potatoes.
So that's the rosemary, thyme, and
Yep, a little bit of truffle oil.
Okay.
A little bit of garlic, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to baste our steaks. So I want it to absorb that flavor, but I want to do it after it's actually started to brown. Okay, so got this going on here. Now I just like to move them around. I like to make sure I got a little bit of that oil underneath. It helps them release. Okay, so I'm gonna mix it nice and crispy on one side. So that's what I really, really like.
And what do you have the oven set at?
425 degrees.
Okay.
We're gonna set that timer for about 18 minutes. Okay. All right. Now I'm starting to get that color I'm looking for. with my onions. Okay, you see where I'm starting to caramelize right there? So what I want to do, great time, let's throw in the mushrooms. Okay, now if you notice they start getting a little dry, which does happen.
The mushrooms or the onions?
Both.
Okay.
If your mixture starts getting a little dry, what you can do is you can add just a hair more butter. Okay, and I always add this a little sparingly. Okay, just add a little bit of fresh butter to that. The idea is to get a nice coat of fat on your mushrooms. So, and then seasoning will stick. And that's what we're shooting for here. I just use a simple Lowry's. Okay. There we go. So I want to see it wet. That's what I'm looking for here. Okay, if I see the mushrooms that are wet, we know we're in pretty good shape. Okay, this blends the seasoning around nice and neat. I'm moving that garlic flavor around too. Okay, and now we can take these on low heat all the way home.
Okay. Did you already drop it down?
Huh? Yep, I already did.
Okay.
I'm an amazing creature like that.
Okay.
All right. This is the time where we're going to be running back and forth, so we're going to go out to my grill.
Okay.
Come on this way. All right. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. All right, so I've got this bad boy sitting at about 475 degrees. Okay. A couple sets of tongs. A couple of things you always want with the grill. So always clean off your grates. So you can do that before, you can do that afterwards as well too, okay?
I thought I did that for you.
And honestly,
apparently I did.
I probably go through 3 grill brushes a year, okay? So I've got a little griddle right here. This is great for salmon, for trout. Also, I've got this hammerhead. It's kind of a joke, but I ended up breaking it, actually putting the electric in the shop. So, but it helps me control heat. So if I've got all 4 burners working, what I can do is use this where I'm not closing the lid completely. And it's gonna help some of that heat escape. Okay, now you're gonna listen to the sizzle. Oh, that sounds beautiful. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna leave a little breathing room right here. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I want this to be a slow cook
Are we
or
walking
a
back
slow
inside?
grill. Yeah, we're gonna walk back inside. I'm gonna get rid of this plate. I'm gonna leave the tongs. I'm gonna use these tongs. Use these tongs a couple more times. So another tool you want on your grill is a spray bottle, just in case you have flare-ups. All right, and I'll show you my super cool pink spray bottle in a minute. All right, get a little clean as you go action going here. So.
Or just leave it because you're 13 in.
That's okay.
Okay.
We're okay. All right. Just start looking at our mushrooms and onions right now. Beautiful. Okay. Just starting to get that browning appearance right now going with my onions. Okay. Mushrooms are starting to soften up. All right, but I don't want them too soft. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. I'm going to let the natural heat from the pan just kind of keep continuing to cook that. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and take out my butter. All right, so we're going to go ahead and pop this in the sink. Got a little spatula here. You do need to grab a spoon. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Okay. All right. Pop this in here. Word of advice. If you don't wash it right away, at least throw some hot water in there, okay? Because if not, that honey and that butter will start to solidify on you, and that can get ugly pretty quick, okay? I just want a little spoon action going on here. All right.
Are we heading back
Potatoes are
outside?
in, yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. So right now I've got my Brussels sprouts and I've got my butter. We're gonna go ahead and head outside, and I'm gonna take my purple or my pink juice. So, for those of you guys that are grass aficionados, I actually got to cut the grass this week. Super excited about that. So,
I'm super excited you did it too.
yeah. I can hear that sizzle. All right, now, once again,
My hair.
here's my super pink bottle. That's for flare-ups. Traditionally, you're going to see that with ribs. You'll see that with pork. You'll see that
And
with certain
brats.
chicken dishes, certain fatty meats.
Everything Mrs. Wright makes.
And helps with flare up. So you always want to have it on stream because you want to directly put that flame out if you have a flame. Okay? So, all right, now I want to throw these on. Okay? All right.
And you used your veggie spatch or your tongs.
Yep. So now I want to let those start to charbroil up. Okay. What I want to do, check these out. See where we're at. Beautiful. Okay. Now everyone is shooting for those beautiful char marks on them. Okay. You notice I didn't flip them. What I did was I just went ahead and angled them. Okay. If you look at a clock, do about 15 degrees. Or you can do the half hour if you, or do about 15 degrees and you'll get those nice diamond marks on the inside of it, okay?
How often should you flip a steak?
Well, it depends on the temperature of the steak, how thick it is. Okay. So I'm shooting for medium rare. So these have probably been on for about 3 minutes right now. So I'll let them sit here for probably about another 3, because realistically we're only sitting at about 360 degrees. But when I flip them is when I want to actually hit them with this truffle oil and our herbs, okay? So what I'm looking for is I'm actually looking for the Brussels sprouts. And what's going to happen is they're going to start to loosen up. You will lose some leaves on this, but I want to start getting that char appearance. I want those black marks to start appearing, okay? So, all right, I'm going to run inside. I want to make sure that those mushrooms and onions are doing well. If we got to pull them, we can go ahead and pull them.
Do we need to check the potatoes?
No, not at all.
All right.
No, potatoes we'll check probably about 6-7 minutes, to be honest. So, look at that. These are perfect. Okay. If you listen close, you can still hear a sizzle, even though there's no heat. Okay. A lot of people make the mistake of trying to finish stuff, and then they let it sit. So, or what's called resting. When they let it rest, it overcooks. Okay. So, and you can do this with vegetables just the same as you can do this with produce. Okay. Now, Mrs. Wright and Mrs. Chef, since you got to watch me do that, if you want to take a bite, go ahead. Now, another piece of advice, always wash hot pans right away. Okay? So, especially if you're using butters, especially if you're sauteing them.
Those are good.
Well, thank you, I appreciate that. But they will steam up and clean real quick. You'll minimize the amount of time you got to spend scrubbing.
Unless you have one of those non-stick pans, though, because you can warp it, right?
Well, the thing is with non-stick is you're really not supposed to use them in commercial settings. So,
Well,
and you got to be careful using metal on them. So even though some of them say, "Oh, metal doesn't hurt," you'd be surprised. So, and that took me less than a minute to do. Nice. So, big fan of clean as you go. Okay. So we got this set up. Mrs. Chef has already tried those and has approved. I'm going to go ahead and clean this up as well. So, all right. A lot of what we do when you're working on a grill, it's all about controlling your heat. That's the biggest thing. Control your heat, know your degrees of doneness. Your thicker steaks are going to take a little while longer, okay? And there's some tips and tricks I can teach you to help you with that. Like using that griddle. If you've got a couple real thick steaks on, and you've got some guys that are medium well guys, well, you can take those steaks, kind of put them together, all right? And then lay that griddle right on top of them. Use it as a steak weight or a heat shield, and it's going to go ahead and deflect heat. And what it's going to do is it's going to help cook them internally, okay? All right. Beautiful. So you see how we have those beautiful cross hatches right now? That's what we're looking for. And you see how we're losing seasoning right here?
Right.
Okay. So food for thought on that. Don't be afraid to boldly season. That's a favorite term of mine. Okay. Now, this is a hot side right here.
And that is the same mixture you put on the potatoes?
Absolutely. Okay. Now, this is where we make it just a little bit of a flare up, okay? But what we're doing is we're basting that steak, okay? There are some pores still open on it. We want it to absorb those flavors. All right. All right. So we're starting to get some color to our Brussels sprouts, which are perfect. Okay. All right. And if you look right underneath the ribeye, we're actually getting a little bit of a flare up right now, which is awesome. Okay. Now, if your griddle gets too hot, you can move it off the heat. Normally, I don't turn the burn around underneath the griddle if I'm just doing some simple vegetables. The residual heat that's coming off of the actual grill and the other 3 or 4 burners is enough to keep this thing hot and where it needs to be. This is something that helps me prevent from overcooking veggies. Okay.
We've got about 10 minutes left.
Oh, I'm fine. All right.
And this is the honey butter.
Yep, this is honey butter. All right, I always like to give it a mixture because sometimes it will try to separate on you. So I'm just gonna give it a little drizzle. All I'm gonna do, okay? And what it's gonna do is it'll slowly melt off. It's gonna hit all sides of that. All right, now I wanna save enough because I'd like to give this a real quick toss once these bad boys are done, okay? Just to make sure if I missed any spots, she's gonna be ready to rock and roll. Okay, now I had a little bit of a flare up, but she's going down. But even if she did, I just give her a little zap. Control that heat that way, okay? So, now if I wanted these like medium well done, I'd go ahead and close this hood. So now if I close it all the way with all 4 burners on, I'd get up to about 800 degrees. I don't want that, it's way too hot, okay? So what I'm looking for right now is a medium rare, medium, so I want to start seeing that purge come out of the top, all right? Once I see that purge coming out, I know I'm at a solid medium. I'm at a solid medium rare going into medium well. You're starting to hear the sizzle of the butter and that honey, and look at that, we're starting to get some of these beautiful colors coming out of it. So it just adds some contrast to that Kelly green. So it gets in all the layers of the Brussels sprout. So it's just adds a whole new level of flavor to a Brussels sprout. So the cool part is you can put something like this together. Once again, this was a bag of frozen Brussels sprouts that I got. I think I paid a total of $1.99 for that. So with that being said, yeah, that's a heck of a deal. All right, let's go check on our taters real quick. All right, so we have about 5 minutes left, a little over. There we go. What I want to see is I want to see my potatoes actually move when I shake them. Okay? And if they're not moving, I want to make sure that they're moving. Okay, I want them to be free. Beautiful. Okay. All right, so those will be ready in about 5 minutes and 23 seconds. Our steaks should be ready in about 5 minutes. All right, and what we're going to do is let them rest for a few minutes. Okay. So now here's a fun fact on a rib loin is actually one of the most flavorful cuts of meat. All right, neck falls right here. All right, this is called the Delmonico cut. You can get maybe 1 or 2 depending on the size of the actual cow. So well, this cut right here is off the very edge and it's actually marbled up to 40%. So if you've got someone that likes a leaner cut of meat, that is not the steak to go with. Okay.
So the smaller steak is which one?
That's the New York strip steak.
Okay.
Or it's also called top loin too.
Top loin? Okay.
Yeah. Ew, look at that. Oh, beautiful.
Oh, we forgot to bring up the platter.
Huh? It's okay.
Okay.
I will bring out the platter. It's not a big deal. Oh, yeah. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. I got those. So those are going to take probably about 3 or 4 minutes. So now there's actually 3 different types of cuts when you get to the rib loin. So this is actually a lip cut. Then you start getting to the center cut, and then you get what's called an eye cut. Your eye cut is actually going to be your most marbled of the rib loin. So traditionally too, if you've got someone that likes that medium well or well done, that's the steak you want to go. The more marbling in it, the more flavor it's going to have. But you got to remember, as we cook this, we're actually dehydrating it. We're actually pulling purge and water weight out of it. Okay, we're also pulling flavor out of it too.
Do you need to squirt that?
Okay. So little tiny flare up, not a big deal. You just go ahead and hit the vent, just like that. Okay. So and that'll actually hold flare ups back. So this is a great trick if you're doing sausages, bratwurst, summer sausages. You got Polish sausages, kielbasa. So if you're cooking those or just doing standard everyday hot dogs, on your grill. Always have yourself a
Cheesy
water
brats.
bottle. Cheesy brats, definitely cheesy brats. So, beautiful. Now, if you look at the strip steak right here, we're seeing a purge. Okay? You see the,
Okay.
starting to see the juices coming out, okay? And for everyone at home, do not call that blood. It's not. Okay, that is called purge, okay? So, and one thing we got going on with purge, okay, is we know that that's a solid medium, okay? So we're gonna have a little bit of a flare up again. I wanna get some of this oil and some of these flavors on this side of the steak, okay? Now, it's had a few minutes on the other side, so what's gonna happen is it's gonna crisp it up. I got 4 minutes, okay. Well, I'm an amazing creature like that. Well, that's only if we do a half hour, honey. We might be able to do longer than that. We're using my cell phone. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna add a little bit more butter. I want that flare up to go just a hair, okay? What it's doing right now is not hurting the steaks. Beautiful. Okay. All right. All right. I'll flip this again. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. All right, let's go get a platter. We know these bad boys are at about medium. So medium rare going into medium. As we let them rest, they're actually going to continue to cook up. So they're going to be those perfect temperatures. Now my steak's just a hair thicker, so it's probably going to be more on the medium rare side. So whereas Mrs. Chef's is a little bit thinner, so hers is going to be that beautiful medium. So let's go ahead and grab those bad boys.
Do you want me to grab a bowl for the Brussels sprouts?
Already got one.
Oh, okay.
All right. All right. I'll give it one more baste.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. Oh yeah, this is the good stuff, gang. This is not the stuff you want to bust out for your cousin, Eddie.
So you're
This
gonna
is the
say
stuff
for
you wanna
your
bust out
sister-in-law.
for I would never say that. Never at all. Okay.
Which my family has been known to show up with uncooked steaks in the middle of summer for you to make.
This is true.
Yep,
There's no
very
arguments
true.
there. Had people just randomly show up with food, no matter what I had going on.
Although it's not cooked food, so.
So, hey, what are you doing right now? It'd be awesome if you did this for us. So I just want to just drizzle that right across the top. We're going to melt those flavors. All right, let's take these bad boys on inside.
Got them
Yep.
turned off. Okay.
Will you grab that bowl, please?
Yep.
Thank you. You're a scholar and a lady. All right. So we got our Brussels sprouts. So what I'm gonna do is just want to give these a light fold. Okay. You can use a spatula for this. You just be gentle. Okay. And you just want to see them mix. Okay. And you see how they still have that Kelly green color to them? They're not overcooked, which is wildly important. Okay. I want these steaks to rest. Okay. So I know Mrs. Wrights is touching that medium. So by the time we're ready to eat, it'll be a beautiful medium. Mine's on that medium rare. And there's our taters. Okay. Beautiful. All right. So we're going to turn this off. And what I'm looking for is a little bit of crisp down on the bottom. And that's what I've got. You're starting to see that golden brown. Okay. So this is it. So what we've got is we've got some beautiful smashed potatoes. Got a little mushrooms and onions, some Brussels sprouts. I'll put a plate together to show you what this is going to look like. Look at this big,
It's yours.
my goodness. Good thing I ran this morning, eh? I'm going to take those right across the top. Oh yeah. Look at that beautiful color. Okay. Take a few of these Brussels sprouts. Go. And just for fun,
You don't use your hands?
my hands are pretty much
All
dead.
right.
I appreciate the concern though. Okay, I like throwing a nice blend of colors on there. There it is. All right, so we got a beautiful smashed potato. We got ourselves a honey butter charred Brussels sprout, along with a truffle butter, or a truffle oiled ribeye strip steak. Or I'm sorry, a ribeye steak with some sauteed mushrooms and onions. So absolutely awesome meal. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, and you should, reach out to me on our stream. All right, or you can look at me at CJW0414 at swcsd.us. And for all those incoming sophomores that may want to take a shot at coming over to the Career Academy, absolutely look us up. This is the type of stuff we do in the culinary lab all the time. So if you don't believe me, check out some of the awesome videos we have on our YouTube channel. This is Chris Wright with the Southwestern Career Academy. Y'all take care and make good choices.